What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today I'm doing a mini brand spotlight on the brand All American Maker. And so I say mini not because it's a small brand or anything like that. He actually has a wide variety of products. But in comparison to the last one I did, Gondek EDC, where I was super entrenched with that brand for several years and had almost every product they've ever made, this one's kind of a new brand to me. So I'm going to only have a couple products to show, although I'll talk about some of the other products he has available. But I first connected with Brendan, the guy behind All American Maker, from his YouTube channel. You see Unboxing American Made on YouTube. His YouTube channel has the same name, All American Maker. I'll link to both his website and YouTube in the description below so you can check him out. But we started interacting probably about a month before Blade Show, not related to Blade Show at all, just kind of started interacting. We met up at Blade Show on several occasions where I planned to buy the products that you're gonna see in today's video, but we just never synced up on that level. So we had interacted a lot and either he didn't have them on him or we were busy running around the show floor or in the pit. And so just never synced up. But as soon as I got home, he shipped these out to me to check out. And really cool products, nice variety. Like I said, I'll talk about some of the other products, but have two of them here to show. I'm gonna start with this EDC knife logbook, which came out right around Blade Show. And this is a 3.5 by 5.5 notebook, same as a Field Notes or Log and Jotter notebook. You can see a really cool graphic on there, a guy wearing a knife nut t-shirt, knife in hand, says EDC knife logbook. Topo pattern over this black background, and then on the back you can see his All American Maker mark, and handcrafted for All American Maker in Austin, Texas by Justin Ryan Books. So this is one product where he's not actually making it, he's sourcing a maker who's hand making these in Austin, Texas. So still American made. Now the next product you'll see is one that he's actually making himself, but really cool. And you can see inside it doesn't have your typical blank pages. It has some boxes to fill out information on specific knives. So each page is one knife, and there's 20 pages here, so room to log 20 different knives. You have the maker or company, you have the model knife name, date of purchase, price paid, design style, which I think is a really big one. Obviously that could be blade shape or lock type if that's what you're kind of wanting to put behind that design style. But you can also put, like if you're into traditional slip joints, Barlow versus Stockman versus Doctor's knife, that sort of thing. Then you also have a blade steel, handle material, overall length, blade length, date of sale, price sold for. If you're someone who buys and sells knives pretty regularly, that's going to be something nice to keep track of. So you can see, look back at the price paid. If you're selling it for the price you paid, you can just look back to that. If you're selling it for a loss, you can also list that here if you're making a profit. Another good place to list it. And then notes, if you received this as a gift from someone or just something that you want to remember about the knife. If you're just getting into knives, you can write what you like about it so that next time you're shopping online for a knife, you know what to look for or what you disliked about it. And so just a lot of really great options here. Like I said, 20 pages. And so for me, I have way too many knives to put in one logbook. I'd probably need about 10 of these, but the way I plan on using it, I already alluded to, is I'm just getting into traditional knives. I had a few before, but it wasn't really something I was super into. And for whatever reason, after Blade Show, I've just been kind of full bore into traditional knives, watching Patty's Potato Peeler and Warthog on YouTube and just ordering a bunch of slip joints, and so have been super into that. And so this is going to be really helpful for me to keep track because I'm not so familiar. There's obvious ones like a Barlow where it's very visual. You can tell immediately what the name of that style of knife is, but there's other knives, not being as into traditional knives, that it's good for me to keep track of them and have a logbook where I can reference back, and hopefully I'll become more familiar with these style of knives. But I'm going to use it for that. I'll probably also order another one before my next knife show. If you've ever watched any of my knife show haul videos, I think I've done 4 of them so far since I started my YouTube channel. I'm very bad at keeping track of individual purchases at knife shows. So I'll usually come back and I say, I had this much budget, this is what I spent. I don't know what I spent on any individual item. And that's because I'm mostly dealing in cash. You usually don't get a receipt. I think I got 1 receipt at Blade Show Atlanta. So usually don't get a receipt, mostly cash. And there's so much going on, it's impossible to remember you know, the 20 things that you bought, what you paid for each one individually. Usually know a ballpark, but it could be off by $20 to $50 even. And so I just don't even mention them. So next time I go to a show, I think I'm going to take one of these. That way I can keep track of everything here. Now, the other place I see this being super helpful is if you're into custom knives. Sometimes those might be a one-off that you have the only one of. And so you want to write that down when you get it so that you have that, because you're not going to be able to look it up on the internet later. And so cool for that. Another one that would be really good, you're just getting into knives, maybe you only have a small handful. I already mentioned using the notes to keep track of what you like and don't like, and you might be able to put your entire collection in one of these or maybe even two of these. And so really, really cool. Now, this isn't the only logbook he has on his site. He also has one for photography where you can keep a daily shot list. He has a coffee logbook, a leather project logbook. And so doing a bunch of stuff, similar overall aesthetic, slightly different in the look and graphic on them, as well as the text obviously is going to be a little bit different, but really, really cool. Would love to see actually one of these for cigars is another thing that I'm kind of into, just keeping track of different cigars and flavor notes that you're picking up, what you like and dislike about those would be a cool thing to see, but already has a decent variety of these out. Now, the next category I would say is a wax category. And so the one I'm looking at is this EDC blade wax. And so I've used similar, I think Wicked Wax is the other brand that I've used, but he's using 100% sourced and manufactured in the USA. So the ingredients in here were grown in the USA, organic hemp seed butter, beeswax, and raw flaxseed oil, which is similar but not exactly the same ingredient list as Wicked Wax, but you notice all of those are organic materials that are food safe, so you can put these on your knife without worrying about contaminating them if you're using them for food prep and things like that. So really, really cool. Now, similar products with wax base, he's pouring these himself, so these ones he's not sourcing, he's actually pouring these himself. And so he has leather balm, beard balm, solid pocket cologne, and a bunch of different really cool candles with interesting scents, a little bit unique scents, and really cool imagery on the cans themselves. I think the branding is excellent, and he's hand pouring these, slapping the labels on himself, so I think that's pretty cool. He's based out of Jamestown, New York, and so also, although he's sourcing everything in the US, he's also pouring it in the US. So this is just a blade wax to protect your blade. And so again, this is kind of relevant getting into traditional knives is they don't always use corrosion resistant steels. And so for example, this one is from Boker. It's the copper burlap micarta club knife. And this is an SMKW exclusive, but it uses O1 tool steel. So this one has a nice acid etch on it, but that will protect a little bit from corrosion resistance, but not gonna completely protect it. So the way I use this, and again, I might be doing this wrong, but I just put it on my finger. I might have gotten a little bit too much there, and try and coat the entire surface. Again, one a little bit heavy, including the edge. Be very careful not to cut yourself. And then I'm gonna go along this back spine as well. I'm not gonna go across the copper, although a little bit's getting on there, as you can see, because I want that to patina a little bit. You can see I have a ton extra here. But just making sure you're getting into that nail nick and all the nooks and crannies. And then gonna grab a microfiber or shop rag, whatever you want, and just wipe it off. Try and get all of the visible off. It's still going to be coated. You'll feel a difference on the blade, even though you won't be able to see it anymore. And so I'm definitely going to try and wipe all of that off, and you'll feel it, and that's going to protect it for a few months. You're going to want to revisit it every couple months and redo it. I'm not sure what the recommended is. I probably would do it every 3 months or so, but maybe even more often. And again, if you're storing it and just collecting it, it's okay if you leave a little bit more on there, but especially if you're carrying it, you don't want it to be super coated. It is food safe, but you don't want chunks of wax in your food or anything like that. And so making sure to just wipe it off and feel it after. You'll feel that kind of nice waxy seal over it, and just making sure that you wipe everything out of there. But really cool product. It smells decent. It's not like scented or anything, so it's not going to have a really strong smell, but it has a very clean scent to it, which is nice. And obviously very clean, raw, organic ingredients on there. So going to be super clean, chemical free, meaning it's safe for you and your pets or anything if they get into it. Obviously you don't want them eating that can, but it will be safe to consume in small amounts. But really, really cool products. Outside of these products, he's making some other cool stuff like coins, banners. He has some really cool banners. He's got ranger eyes and pins. One new product that's available for pre-order right now will actually get you both of these products. This is ammo can knife storage. It carries 24 knives. It has some foam in there that will carry 24 knives, and nice graphics similar to what you're seeing on here on the side of the box, although it's going to say All American Maker, of course, instead of EDC knife logbook. But really cool graphic. It's on a 50 cal ammo can and includes both the EDC knife logbook and EDC blade wax. I don't remember if I mentioned prices on these. The logbook's gonna run you about $10. The blade wax is gonna run you $20. So if you take that into account, that ammo box is about $70 plus the 10 and 20 for this, and those are both included in the purchase. So really, really cool. Definitely check out the website. Check out his YouTube too if you're just looking for American made goods. A really, really great place to start because he's doing the sourcing for you, showing off products that are made and sourced in America. So really cool guy, really cool brand, definitely worth checking it out. I will link to both in the description. No affiliation with them besides just being friends with Brendan, and we met pretty recently, but really like what he's doing, so worth checking out. Let me know what you think of these down in the comments below. Definitely show his channel some love as well. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.